disclosed the last time a trade war happened in the US, things didn't go well for the economy. Will history repeat itself as Trump puts a tariff on steel and aluminum? Here are the facts. Just the facts. President Trump's decision to impose tariffs on some imports of steel and aluminum has already squeezed supplies and boosted prices, and some Phoenix area businesses worry that things could get worse before they get better. It looks like steel might skyrocket and get hard to source or obtain, with longer lead times, said Greg Hankerson, co-owner of Vintage Industrial, a Phoenix company that makes custom steel furniture. Greg Hankerson of Vintage Industrial, sitting amid some of his company-made furniture, said tariffs have boosted prices and tightened supplies of steel. Photo, Russ Wiles. I wouldn't be surprised if people start stealing steel off the sides of buildings. Doug Cohn, co-owner of Distributor Arizona Metals in Mesa, said supplies have tightened for products such as flat-rolled steel that's used in automobiles, appliances and other big-ticket items. I expect businesses to pull the plug on some projects over the summer, he said, citing construction delays or cancellations as a possibility. Citing national security concerns, Trump in early March made good on a vow to impose tariffs of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum entering the country. The president later backtracked a bit, giving exemptions for steel from Canada, Mexico and other countries. The tariff decision has largely boiled down to a dispute with China, with both nations threatening to slap more tariffs on the other's exports. One standard type of steel, hot-rolled coils, has jumped from $590 a ton in October to near $860 today, according to futures prices on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The same category of steel sold for about $360 a ton in December 2015, with a smaller tariff. Aluminum prices haven't changed as much but have risen a bit recently. Arizona Chamber CEO, economic madness of tariffs elicited sharp criticism outside the steel and aluminum industries, especially from groups representing manufacturers and businesses generally. Glenn Harmer, president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry, called Trump's policies economic madness. Glenn Harmer, Arizona Chamber Commerce president and CEO. Photo, Timon Harper. The president's announcement that he'll impose a 25% tariff on steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum fails Economics 101, Harmer said in a prepared statement shortly after the tariffs were announced. He accused Trump of making life more expensive for hard-working American families, while harming American manufacturers by making products stamped "Made in the USA" less competitive overseas. Tariffs are likely to create new challenges in the form of significant added costs for manufacturers and American consumers, said the National Association of Manufacturers in a statement. Tariffs also run the risk of provoking China to take further destructive actions against American manufacturing workers. Trump's tariff announcements were a catalyst for the recent stock market slide, though prices have recovered a bit. The broadest measure of the market, the Wilshire 5000 Total Market Index, as of April 13, was down about 7% to $2.4 trillion from its March peak. Support for tariffs. Conversely, the Pro-Tariffs Coalition for a Prosperous America predicts that the consequences will be nearly undetectable, with the net job impact approaching zero, and virtually no change to the nation's gross domestic product. The group claims to represent a political cross-section of Americans and includes current or former union, agricultural and steel company executives as directors. It projects a net gain of 19,000 jobs in the steel and aluminum industries. Michael Stumo, the coalition's chief executive officer, in a prepared statement said anxiety over cost increases is overblown. He has called for even more protection from foreign competition. The Aluminum Association said it supports tariffs aimed at China but also said it was pleased the White House excluded NAFTA trading partners Canada and Mexico. Other nations, including Australia, South Korea, Brazil and producers in the European Union, were later exempted. Red Opinion: China supplies less than 3% of the steel imported to the U.S. That's below the supplies furnished by roughly 8 other nations, including top-ranked Canada, which is also the largest foreign supplier of aluminum to America. More than 80 nations export steel to the U.S., the world's largest importer of the metal. The president's decision represents an opportunity to engage our critical trading partners on addressing persistent Chinese aluminum overcapacity, said Heidi Brock, the association's CEO, in a statement. Now is the time to negotiate a long-term, enforceable agreement with China that tackles this perennial problem once and for all. The American public is concerned about trade issues, especially that with China, said Frank Luntz, a public opinion pollster and consultant. People link trade with destiny, and who will control our destiny, the U.S. or China, he said during a NAFTA conference at Arizona State University in February. The concern about China has been getting angrier and more frightening. Still, Americans could pay a price for that concern, as tighter supplies and higher costs, especially for steel, could stoke inflation on vehicles, appliances and many other products. More sense. Jeff Flake, John McCain blister President Donald Trump over new tariff. Hankerson said his company uses 1-inch thick plates measuring 30 inches by 30 inches as table bases. This unit of steel sold for around $240 a couple months ago, but now costs around $560. His company responded by raising the prices of tables featuring steel tops or bases by 5 to 10%. Hankerson said he hasn't yet determined how higher steel prices have affected sales, but he indicated the company would have lost a recent sale on a $2,375 bevel table if he had raised the price by $200, as he intended. We opted not to hike up the price and accept the original quoted price, Hankerson said. We would have lost the sale had we not done that, according to the customer. Uncertain impact. A former official at the U.S. Treasury Department says the current tariff war between the United States and China is a threat to the global supply chain. April 4. Ford, Honda, Toyota and other automakers have warned of higher vehicle prices. The U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross counted that the steel price increases would raise the cost of a typical new vehicle by less than 1%. Other companies say they're still trying to assess how much the tariffs might affect them. Among them are Phoenix-based U-Haul International, which uses steel to manufacture and customize the trucks and trailers in its rental fleet. Related coverage. Meanwhile, U.S. Steel, a large domestic producer, recently issued guidance predicting its cash flow could jump more than 55% in 2018 compared to 2017. The company cited the tariffs as a catalyst and said it would restart an Illinois blast furnace to meet demand. Cohn at Arizona Metals in Mesa said he has mixed feelings. While sympathetic to the concerns of domestic producers that China has been dumping steel, he objects to the sudden imposition of tariffs, which quickly led to higher metal prices and tighter supplies. He also worries that the economy could slow, especially if manufacturers can't find enough material to fulfill orders. Smaller businesses, which have less purchasing clout with steel mills, could get crowded out. It's not that they can't sell the product, it's that they can't get the steel, he said. I'm more worried about shortages than pricing, reached the reporter at Russ.Wiles at ArizonaRepublic.com 602-444-8616. Read more. Reader share this story, https://azc.cc/2qc9koq